3 keys of powder, and I want to buy them all up front.
Don't get ahead of yourself, young blood. You ain't got the infrastructure.
My boss is going after everybody in the downriver area that's dealing drugs.
This is over. This is finished.
You still need me as much as I need you.
What's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-J, and if you're new and you're loving BMF, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely like, comment below with any theories, any thoughts. We're going to get into the episode 4 recap for BMF, and I tell you, it's heating up even more so than ever. So absolutely, you already know, if you missed any episodes, definitely check out all my recaps. We have the BMF playlist, so you can just go to the playlist, hit that BMF playlist, and you can see all the recaps, so you can be all caught up on everything. So we're going to go through the BMF episode 4 recap, and as you see, we got some new faces. Here we go. The name of the episode is Heroes, and here's the description. Lamar's reign of terror continues as he works overtime to shut down the 50 boys for good. All right, so we about to get into it. Let's go. So we first start off with Meech, young Meech. He's in the store. He's shopping, and he sees these young ladies he knows from school. You know, they chopping it up, kicking it, talking about the dance or whatever. And Meech, he got his food stamps or whatever the case is. So he rolls over. He tries to holler at one of the girls. And, you know, of course, the other girl is like, get out of here, she's not trying to hear it and the whole nine. She's hating on the whole situation, cock blocking the whole situation. But she thinks he's cute, He's making his move. He's shooting his shot. He's like, yo, I'll buy your food for you, too. And she's like, for real? Yeah. So they go to the stand. He's like, all right, you can wait outside. And the thing about it is he doesn't want them to see that he got food stamps. But the guy's like, yo, come on, give me the food stamps. And he's like, yo, get out of here, da-da-da. He's like, dang, man, you messed up my flow. So Pat sees young Meech trying to impress the ladies, so he's like, don't worry about it. Just be who you are. Accept yourself for who you are. Here's some money. Go impress the girls. Go buy the girls some stuff. And, Meech, since he was a young man, he always looked up to Pat, and a lot of people looked up to Pat. He was a neighborhood hero. He wasn't just a drug dealer, but everybody had respect for Pat, and that's something that Meech definitely cherishes, that Pat was like a father figure to him. All right, now, let's go to the 8 Mile. Now we on the 8 Mile. We see Meech and Terry. They rolling up, doing what they do. And absolutely, with everything that's just happening, they have to make sure that everything is secure, right? They got to make sure that everything is secure on a better level now because they earning way more money. So they go ahead and cop the house just to make sure that all the money, all the stash, everything is in a different location, further away from everything, right? So they roll up in the spot. They got a new clean spot. It looks way better. It's not like the old stash house where they had, homeboy that was snorting all the coke. Nah, it's way better now, Terry's like, it's like Leave It a Beaver or whatever. So, Meech is like, man, it's all good. And Terry's telling him, man, you shouldn't have paid the mortgage because it's causing problems between mom and dad. He's like, yo, I'm doing y'all a favor. I'm trying to keep you off the streets. And Terry's not feeling that at all. He's like, yo, forget all that, man. You shouldn't have done it. You're going to get them to break up and the whole nine. And he's like, maybe they should. I'm tired of all that arguing and all this and that. I'm just trying to take care of the family, right? So who rolls up in the spot with keys in hand? You got Hoop and your girl Kato. So they like, yo, what y'all doing here? Where's B Mickey? And he's like, yo, B Mickey, something's going on. He just gave us the keys and told us to bring the money up here and up into the stash, right? So, of course, Meech is like, yo, that don't even sound right. That sound real weird, Like, what happened? Like, where's he at? What's going on? Why would he give you the keys like that? That's crazy. It's only a few people that know where the stash is at. Of course, your girl Kato's like, well, from what I understand, something's going on with his mom, so he's at the hospital taking care of his mom. And Meech, of course, is just like, yo, for real, there. Thank you. You can go wait outside, right? You can go wait outside because he's not even trying to hear it. He's really not trying to hear from Kato at all because, Kato's the reason why they had to do what they had to do to get the money up for Pat. So, they talking and, it's just real weird to Meech that B. Mickey would give them the keys so they can come up there in the new stash, in the new spot. So as Terry's looking at everything, he's looking at the supply. He mentioned that they about to run out. They only got 2 to 3 days of supply. And of course, your boy Hoop was like, yo, he's concerned about that because now he knows that Lamar is the leader of the 12th Street Boys and they're going to have one up on him if they don't get a new supply. So he's definitely concerned about it. He's definitely a soldier, and it is what it is. And Meech is trying to reach out to B. Mickey. He's like, yo, he's concerned for B. Mickey, but he's really like, yo, where's he at? That's still his boy. But he's like, yo, that's kind of weird. So, of course, Kato's just like, yo, we got to go. We got to go to the food truck. We got to get on the food truck. So Hoop is like, all right, I'm out. Hoop is out. All right. So really, Meech is like, yo, what's going on? It's a lot going on, a lot of pressure, a lot to think about. Of course, Terry, he still wants to talk about things or whatever, but, they got to get the supply up, right? So while Terry's trying to talk about family stuff, Meech is like, yo, we got to get the supply up, so let me just go and handle what I need to handle, right? He'd handle the business and all of that. So they take a couple stacks. Terry takes a couple stacks out or whatever. And then Meech is out. Meech is like, all right, I'm going to go, stop by B. Mickey's on the way back after getting the supply from Pat. And Terry's just like, yo, but we still talking. He's like, yo, that could wait. So Meech is off to do what he needs to do to go get the supply. And at the same time, he got concerns about B. Mickey. So he takes the money that they just brought and he rolls over to Pat and he says, yo, I'm ready, man. Just give it to me all up front. 3 keys a pop. I want it all. Just give me all what you got. You know what I'm saying? So of course, Pat is like, yo, don't overstep and just take it easy. He's again trying to press him down, but he's looking at that money. Like I said, he was real like, yo, surprised about it. And Meech is just like, yo, man, what's the deal? Like you should have it all, man. Like what's going on? And Pat is thinking like, yo, you being disrespectful like that? You really being disrespectful to me? He's like, nah, it's all good. So, your boy Rock takes him into the area where he's setting them up to give him the supply. And Meech is like, yo, what's going on with Pat, man? I know he's snorting, he doing whatever. He's smoking, he's getting high on his own supply. It's like, yo, everybody got their vices in the whole nine. But if you for real, we can do some business on the side. So now Meech, Terry in the car. Terry seeing that, Pat got a new way to get the supply to him and Tide boxes and everything else like that. Meech is like, nah, he bit that off of the East Side cat. So they going back and forth about the business and everything else like that. And Meech is like, yo, let's just do it my way, whatever. So now in Lord and Taylor, Terry, LaWanda, they getting all set up, getting their clothes ready so they can have the christening for the baby with Pastor Swift. And he's letting them know, yeah, you got to change your hair in the whole nine. The family's up in the spot. They just doing a little bit of shopping. Danielle's up in there. She needs a little bit of money. She got her cubic zirconias. He's like, nah, here's some money. Go ahead and get some real diamonds, right? So the 12th Street Boys, they in Foot Locker, right? And all of a sudden, it's all they see Terry and this young man here. So he's like, yo, how we going to get the 50 boys out of here? He's like, yo, you got your chance right now. So Terry sees them and everything gets real tense. And then your boy Lamar rolls up and he sees the kid, he sees LaWanda, and he's like, yo, he takes out some money, throws some money on the ground. He's like, yo, here's some diapers or whatever. And then they skate off. Nothing really happens at all. Now back at the precinct, they're looking at the 12th Street Boys. They're like, yo, J-Mo hasn't shown up. And they talking about how they're trying to take down and investigate everybody, right? They keep mentioning the Flintery brothers. Lopez, he definitely keeps mentioning Meech and Terry. And, of course, you got your boy, Detective Brian, like, nah, Meech doesn't have any prior records. He's really trying to get them away from talking about the Flintery brothers. And he's trying to do the best that he can, but they keep going back to the Flintery brothers, and they got cases and files on them. Now we in the club, and of course you got Meech, Terry, and Meech is telling the bartender, yo, send the most expensive bottle over to Shorty over there. Meech is doing his thing. He's flexing in the whole nine. Terry's trying to be like, yo, we supposed to be meeting this person here. So this lady rolls up. Meech tries to buy her a drink. She's like, nah, you don't have to buy me anything. She talks to Terry, but Terry skates off because they was waiting for somebody else. I guess they was waiting for a guy. Here we go, back at the food truck. A lot of business is going on, and guess who shows up to get a stone burger? Guess who it is? You know who it is. Lamar talking about, I want a stone burger. And they're like, nah, we ain't serving no stone burger. So he goes out there to cause trouble. He's like, you ain't get your stone burger? And he's like, Hoop is like, man, we don't got no stone burgers for you. Like, get out of here, Lamar. So everybody's like, yeah, we want a stone burger. Slick is up in there. They just there to cause problems and cause trouble in the whole nine. So Hoop is just like, sorry, we're closed. And Kato's like, man, Meech is going to be upset about everything. All of this. They causing problems out here. They trying to shut down our operation. Meanwhile, Meech and T, they go to that same bodega where he had the food stamps, and they meet up. They decide to meet up with the dude, Rock, which is Pat's right-hand man, because Pat's right-hand man is like, yo, I got another person. If you want to get supply, we can go with this other person. So they skate off, and Meech goes to Laurie's house, right, to see his baby, Nene. That's right. Meech got a baby with Laurie, and that's Nene, right? So, of course, Laurie, she said, everybody got their needs, and they handle their business, right? Now, back at the house, the Flintery house, we're sitting down, and we're talking about Terry and the malpractice and what they did to his eye, how they didn't fix it, how they messed it up. Of course, Charles, he's real upset about it, and they're sitting down with Pastor Swift's niece. And, Charles is being a little disruptive about things. And, of course, they're just trying to calm him down, and she's just asking questions. And it's like, okay, I'll do my investigation. We'll do the best that we can. Now, of course, Charles and Mom is just not really getting along. Now, back at the food truck, people are definitely still ordering now. They ordering more at the food truck. But now we got the 50 boys. They out there deep to make sure nothing crazy goes down and the 12th Street boys don't come. So now Hoop and Kato, they out talking or whatever. And Hoop is like, yo, all the fellas is here. It must be for a reason. They probably trying to get to the stash, yo. And she's like, nah, it's all in your head. Kato's like, it's all in your head. How do they even know where the stash is at? So Hoop skates off to go check out the stash to make sure it's secure. Meanwhile, at the country club, you got your boy Meech and T, and they supposed to be meeting up with the new Connect that Rock hooked up. So they sitting at the table, and then there's a message to go outside back in the garden. So they go outside back in the garden only to meet these dudes with guns, and they get them and they take them to the van. And guess what? They throw them in the van and they skate off. It's like, ah, man, who are these guys, right? Who are these guys? Meanwhile, at the stash, looks like Hoop was correct on his hunch because, yes, they got to the stash. They took the money. They took the drugs. They took everything out of the stash. Then he gets shot at. And now he's like, yo, who's shooting at me, right? So he's blasting back. They going back and forth in the whole nine, right? He shot the dude, and then Hoop is going after him, only for Hoop to see a dude with an AR-15 about to blast, right? Boom, he got shot. Yes, it's Lamar. Lamar is there shooting up the place, taking everything. Of course, your girl Kato comes out of nowhere. She starts shooting, and everybody runs away. Now, we got Terry and Meech. They took the blindfolds off, and now we see Rock. It's like, yo, what's Rock doing there? And then we see your boy Pat, and Pat is like, yo, y'all was going behind my back to get a new connect. He was like, nah, Meech is like, nah, it's not like that. It was all my idea. Leave Terry out of it. Only to find out and see that Pat turns around and hits Rock and kills Rock with the shovel. Yeah, it's real ugly, real brutal. And he's like, yo, y'all was doing what y'all had to do, but clean this mess up. And of course, Meech is just like, man, again, it wasn't Terry's idea, it was my idea. And your boy Rock is now gone. And they had to clean it all up. So they clean it all up. They upset with each other in the whole nine. And then B. Mickey shows up. So they're like, yo, what happened? Where was you at? And we see Hoop, and he got his hand, he had his arm in a sling because he got shot. It's like, yo, they came through the stash and they took everything. They took the money, they took the drugs, they took all of that. And so B. Mickey's like, yo, man, my mom's in the hospital, and my head is not in the right place. And Meech is like, I don't even want to hear it. So they go back at it. And Terry's like, you know what? Let's just do nothing. I'm tired. Let's just regroup, think about what we going to do, just so we can get our minds straight. All right, now we are at the river. And as I mentioned in the last episode, my last recap, I knew something like this was going to happen. So you got Detective Bryant and one of his guys, and they found something underneath some debris. They said, bring it up. They said, bring it up. So we don't know what that is. We got an idea what it is. Now at the church, Pastor Swift is about to do the christening for the baby. Pastor Swift is definitely giving a good word for the family, and the whole family's there. That's right. Lucille Charles is there as well, right? LaWanda, she changed the hair up, as Terry wanted it. And, of course, Terry is there as well with the baby, and they are about to bless the baby. And Meech and Danielle are there as the parents of the baby. Now, as Pastor Swift is going through it, Terry is actually flashing back while he's holding the baby. He's flashing back to seeing Pat, kill Rock and stab him with all of that. So he's definitely flashing back, having these crazy memories of everything that's going on. And he's like, man, he's just traumatized by what he witnessed at the same time this christening is going on. But Pastor Swift is blessing the baby, and, all is well and all is going well. So, he's getting through it, but he definitely was traumatized by that whole experience. Pastor Swift definitely blessing the child, blessing the family, and it was a good event. It was a good place to be for the Flintery family to have some type of peace and to come together as a family, which is definitely important, right? It's definitely important, and they are a family that's coming together, for the greater good. They're coming together for the greater good. So here we go. Now, as this is going on, the investigation is happening, and we see who is floating up. That's right, it's J. Mo floating up from the river. That's right, they found J. Mo at the bottom of the river. And of course, you already know, Detective Bryant is not happy about it. Again, he just brought J. Mo to Meech to rough him up, but only to find out that he's dead in a river with a hole in his head. That's right. So you already know Detective Bryant, he's going to be seeing Meech real soon. So everybody's outside the church. It's all love. Everybody's smiling, right? Terry's happy. The family's together. Lori's there. They're all there together, and Terry's like, yo, it's like a family reunion. We need to go eat. We need to go, do our thing as a family. This is definitely a good time. But Detective Bryant and Lopez show up wanting to talk to Meech. And they say, Meech, you need to come downtown and come with us. We got some questions. And Meech is like, yo, that's not a good idea. And I don't think you got a warrant and everything. So that's not good. Meanwhile, Charles is like, what's going on? And guess what? Charles is looking. He's looking. And what is he looking at? The Mercedes-Benz car. Meech's Mercedes-Benz and Terry's Benz. So, of course, he's thinking about what Detective Lopez said in the last episode. And he's like, I can't eat with y'all. And he skated off. Meanwhile, Kato goes back to her house. She's chilling. But guess what? She turns on the light. Who's creeping in the dark? Your boy Lamar. Lamar is everywhere, right? He's everywhere. And he roughs her up, gets on the ground. He's like, yo, you shouldn't have never shot at me in the whole nine. And she's like, yo, I had to make it look good. They trusted me so they could still trust me. He puts the blicky in her mouth. He's like, yo, if you ever do that again, I would blast you, but you the daughter of, an OG from back in the day. So meanwhile, your boy B. Mickey's at the crib. He's stressed out. She's stressed out. And Kato goes to the crib and they go do their thing. And we knew this was going to happen, right? We knew that this love connection was going to happen. So Kato and B. Mickey, yeah, he's definitely smashing cheeks. Now, Meech goes to Detective Bryant's house. And Detective Bryant hems him up like, yo, man, you wasn't supposed to kill him. And Meech is like, yo, I didn't do that. He was fine. He's like, yo, it's over. This, that, and the third. And Meech is like, nah, it's not over. It's not going to be over. And guess what? I'm going to make sure that you get your money. Here's some extra for you. Now we see your boy Lamar, and he's with Zoe, and he's telling her, a Three Little Piggy the nursery rhyme story, right? Putting her to bed. Of course, Monique, she's loving all of that. And he gives her gifts, gives her a diamond necklace, and she's loving everything. And your boy is now smashing Monique's cheeks, and they're together. As we come to a close, we see Terry. He rolls up to the spot, and he sees somebody. Says, yo, are you stalking me? And guess who he sees? He's still looking. He got this, he got his hand on the strap, and he sees Big L in the car. And that's the same young lady that was at the club. And she was like, yo, I like how you handled yourself at the club, and I want to make a deal with you. He's like, yo, as long as I can get my weight up front, she's like, that's how I do business. So she says, my only deal is that I only deal with you and not your brother, nobody else. And he's like, okay, no problem. I agree. So they shake hands. She's like, I'll be in touch. So again, while Meech is not turning his back on Pat, of course, Terry's like, yo, we got an opportunity to take it to the next level. And that's exactly what's going to be done. So that is episode 4 recap for BMF. Definitely a wild and crazy episode, but I definitely loved it. Definitely give me your thoughts, your theories, your ideas as to what you think about this episode. And absolutely, you already know what it is. BMF, definitely a great episode. I appreciate your love and your support. Let's continue to share. Let's continue to like and comment. And absolutely, if you're new, go ahead and subscribe. And you know what it is. It's your man, VACAY-J. I'm out. Salute.